pack house. At the very start, we got the intake process, carried out by the QC team. We shall decide how the QC shall take his sample and how much will be taken. Raw material sampling procedure and the sample size. After trials and using the proportion method. This procedure is to identify the sampling size which the QC takes from each delivery to put a ratio for defects/non-defects parts per each delivery. Without any references, sample size was 2%, winter, and 5%, summer, but it was assigned based on the experience of the workers. It is hard to measure product quality, because it is something related to product attributes, good or bad, accepted or rejected, etc. So it called proportion. It is about ratios and probabilities. First step is to decide about 3 items. 1. The level of confidence, trust in the sample size, starts from 99% downwards. The confidence level is the frequency of possible confidence intervals that contain the true value of their corresponding parameter. In other words, if confidence intervals are constructed using a given confidence level in an infinite number of independent experiments, the proportion of those intervals that contain the true value of the parameter will match the confidence level. 2. The precise proportion, the number of successes divided by the population. The sample proportion is the fraction of samples which were successes. 3. The margin of error, is the plus or minus 3 percentage points. The margin of error is a statistic expressing the amount of random sampling error. The larger the margin of error, the less confidence one should have that the reported results are close to the true figures, that is, the figures for the whole population. Margin of error is positive whenever a population is incompletely sampled and the outcome measure has positive variance, that is, it varies. The term margin of error is often used in non-survey contexts to indicate observational error in reporting measured quantities. The current practice takes 2 to 5% from the population as a sample size according to the season. So, we estimated our proportion according to the level of confidence in the sample size. At 99% level of confidence, sample size reached 14%. Then we reduced the confidence until 90% to reach a sample size of 6%. The sample size during the whole year is 6%. The proportion is not related to the population quantity or quality issues. This table demonstrates the method. Please revise. Thank you. So, with a confidence level 90%, 0.06 margin of error and success ratio is about 0.88. The sample size is 6% of any delivery through the whole year. Considering that upper and lower confidence level shown between 82 and 94% means that our confidence in the sample taken from any delivery is not exactly 90% but it is between that range 82 to 94%. Modifications on QC sample inspection procedures. One inspection revealed that the defects are independent but sometimes are joined into one head, that is, you can find more than one defect in one head. So, it is necessary to have an estimation for each defect, then the joint defects per head, and apply the following procedure: P, A or B, equals P, A, plus P, B, P, A and B, subtracting joint defects from the total defects. The meanwhile test, unlike this, increases the percentage by adding the joint defects to the individual defects, and increases the opportunity to refuse product while it should accept it. 2 samples should be taken randomly, meaning that all heads have an equal opportunity of being sampled, doing that by taking the samples from exact places, like taking from the front, middle and end, then, it becomes systematic. So, it is recommended to take it randomly and differently with every intake. Intake. Another aspect about time wasting. We shall study the movements, tasks and time consumed, then we decide the best ways to improve these factors. We are calculating the time required for the intake team to do their full tasks, as the full team consists of 1 QC and 3 workers. The day is divided into 2 partitions, before lunch and after lunch. The deliveries ranges between two kinds of volumes. Minimum delivery, which is 294 crates, and it takes 2 hours and 5 minutes from the QC guy. And the maximum delivery is 350 crates and it takes 2 hours and 35 minutes. Please check the timeline table. Their tasks are preparing the placing heads crates on pallets and striping. Quality checks vacuum cooling time. And the table it takes 205 hours to 235 hours according to the delivery amount. And with going on with the other tasks after that, these tasks are writing records, peeling carrots, loading empty crates, washing crates, cold store arranging and ordering. So, we have some notes to be fulfilled. Notes 1: QC can take more tasks according to the number of intake deliveries. 2. Number of workers here is sufficient to work without any empty times. 3. QC should record intake procedures with photos per delivery. By doing the same for the cold store tasks, which are as follow. Please check this table with the time per task. So we note the following. Waste elimination. Movements. Bringing heads from the cold store through the corridor until the funnel, takes 100 seconds. Processing one pallet takes 17 to 25 minutes. Feeding conveyor with heads passed to the girls to process them takes 120 seconds. Then the funnel man waits for not less than 5 minutes until the next feeding. But he arranges empty crate on another pallet. He waits about 12 to 15 minutes to bring another pallet. He evacuates empty crates pallet every 25 minutes. And evacuation process takes 70 seconds. We assigned just one man for this process instead of 2 men. This process needs one man show, and it is capable.